Yo, what is up, guys? It is Nick, or the Notorious Fantasy, back again today with another fantasy football video. Today's video is Week 5 quarterbacks to sit or start for this given week. I go through every single matchup and talk about every single quarterback starting in those games, whether I give them the start tag or the sit tag. Now, before I start the video, I'd like to give you guys a word from my sponsor, OverlayDFS.com. They're good friends of mine. They also now even have an app, so you can check that out in the description down below. Tired of having to pick the perfect player at every single position in order to win at salary cap DFS? Are you tired of having your salary cap lineup out of the running to win money in the first 5 minutes? Does playing salary cap DFS feel like a job and not even a game? Want a fantasy game where pros with 150 lineups and computer generated games can't dominate? OverlayDFS.com has a new revolutionary start-sit game for fantasy sports. They are the home of the single-entry GPP. How do you play? It is a simple start-sit format. Make 12 start-sit decisions from the 30-plus matchup presented, like you can see on my screen right now. A win, loss, or tie will be awarded to your overall record for each decision. Records of the top 10% of users win 9 times your buy-in. 12-0 records win GTD progressive bonus. All matchups are player versus player. Who will have the most fantasy points? Usually, an 8-4 record is good enough to get that cash. Sometimes 7-5, other times 9-3, depending on the week. Make 12 picks on the matchup options listed. For example, in Week 5, it could be Cooper Kupp versus Todd Gurley, Adam Thielen versus Stephon Diggs, Carson Wentz versus Tom Brady, and many, many more. The object is to stay consistent and finish in the top 10% of the field to win 9 times your buy-in until the stars align and you go that beautiful 12-0. Right now, if you go the perfect 12-0 in the $109 game, you'd win the progressive bonus of over 26 big once, $26,000. They have buy-ins at all levels. If no one hits that perfect 12-0, the progressive bonus keeps growing and will roll over until it gets hit. It's like the super contest, but for DFS. Do not get shut out. Visit www.overlaydfs.com today. And we are Week 5 quarterback start or sit decisions. First game to talk about here is the Jets at the Philadelphia Eagles. This should be pretty obvious to you. You are going to be sitting Luke Falk. Luke Falk may have been drafted in the 6th round, but he is no Tom Brady. He's far from Tom Brady. You're going to be sitting him clearly. Again, this game, the Eagles defense is going to have their way with Luke Falk. But I am going to be starting Carson Wentz in this game. The Jets defense, while pretty good, I think is not that. They're dealing with a lot of injuries. Like before the season started, they looked good. Now they're dealing with so many injuries. And when their offense cannot produce, I am very confident that Carson Wentz will have a great game this week against the Jets. Next game to talk about here is the Jaguars at the Panthers. I'm going to be starting both quarterbacks in this game. Both Gardner Minshew and Kyle Allen. Gardner Minshew I just think he's just a good quarterback. He's been scoring about 20 to 25 points every single game. He seems to be very, very, very reliable. While the Panthers defense is pretty good, I think that at the end of the day, Gardner Minshew will be able to get it done in Carolina. Now, Kyle Allen has the next to him because Week 3, he had an amazing game. Week 4, shit the bed, 5 points against Houston. But I think at the end of the day, you can do a lot worse than Kyle Allen this week. And if you're in a deeper type of league, I'm definitely willing to give this a go at the Jaguars that may or may not have Jalen Ramsey this week. The Jaguars defense wasn't all that good last week, and I think that Kyle Allen may be able to pick them apart. Next game to talk about here is the Vikings at the New York Football Giants. I'm going to be sitting both quarterbacks in this game. Kirk Cousins has looked terrible. I don't know if you guys saw that clip on Twitter, but from a few years ago, Kirk Cousins was having his fucking baby. They're doing the baby thing, and he throws the fucking beanbag, and it hits the thing, and it almost missed. He almost missed a throw to announce what gender his baby was, okay? He can't even hit anyone. Stephon Diggs wants out of there. Adam Thielen probably wants out of there. Adam Thielen probably wants to go to Kirk Cousins' house and murder the man because Kirk Cousins has stolen so much money from Minnesota. He is god awful. Daniel Jones, on the other hand, he looks pretty good. But at the end of the day, he is playing against the Minnesota Vikings. The Minnesota Vikings defense, the Purple People Eaters, look very good. I think that they are a solid defense, and they will be able to shut down a quarterback like Daniel Jones, who is young. Next game to talk about here is the Falcons at the Houston Texans. Now, I know the Falcons have been disappointing. A lot of fans are calling for Dan Quinn to be fired, shipped, exiled away from Atlanta, but I still think that Matt Ryan is a solid start this week against the Texans. The Texans defense has looked good, and I do think you can start them this week, but I still think that Matt Ryan will be able to have a decent enough game to quantify him being a start. Deshaun Watson last week didn't look amazing. He has a good week, then a bad week, then a good week, then a bad week. And you know what that means? He had a bad week last week, so this week is going to be his good week going up against the Falcons. The Falcons defense has not looked amazing, hasn't looked great. Mr. Mariota had a great game against the Falcons last week. I think that Deshaun Watson, clearly better than Mariota, will be able to play a great game against the Falcons. Next game to talk about here is the Buccaneers at the New Orleans Saints. Now I'm going to be firing up Jameis Winston on all cylinders. I think this is going to be a high-scoring matchup. Oh, Nick, this is going to be a high-scoring matchup. Why aren't you starting Teddy Bridgewater? And we're going to be sitting Teddy Bridgewater because I can't trust Teddy Bridgewater. Okay, guys? He may throw 2 touchdowns in this game, okay? Whatever. I'm just not going to rely on him. I think that Alvin Kamara is going to be running the ball. They're going to be running the ball a lot. They're going to be doing these dink and dunk passes. I'm just not sure Teddy Roosevelt is going to score 2 touchdowns. Jameis Winston, on the other hand, may throw 7 touchdowns in this game. Jameis Winston is a guy that I love this week. Obviously, he's not going to throw 7 touchdowns, maybe around 3, maybe a pick. But I think that at the end of the day, Jameis Winston is a potential top 10 guy this week, even potential top 5 in a shootout against the New Orleans Saints. Next game, here's the Bills at the Tennessee Titans, and it says to start, but they're actually a sit. I don't know why it says start, but they're obviously both sits. Matt Barkley / Josh Allen. They get the slash because right now as I'm recording this, Matt Barkley probably going to play. Josh Allen probably out, so I would not start either of these guys. Marcus Mariota looked great last week. He has fooled your brain into thinking he is good. The Bills defense, very good. The Titans defense, very good. Don't start either of these guys. Next game to talk about here is the Cardinals at the Bengals, and I'm firing both of these guys on all cylinders. Bang, 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 bang. Fire them both out this game. Kyler Murray is going to have his way with a shit tier Bengals defense. He is going to run all through them. He's going to run. He's going to throw. He's going to not look 5 feet tall. He is going to look amazing against them. And Andy Dalton, on the other hand, playing against a just as shit Cardinals defense, going to be able to have his way, be a ginger, throw the ball all around the field. Auden Tate, Tyler Boyd, all going to eat, all going to get theirs this week. Andy Dalton is definitely a solid stream option. That stream video coming out later. So if you guys have enjoyed this video just thus far, make sure to click that like button. Let's keep going here. Patriots at the Washington Redskins. Now, Tom Brady is a clear start. This is going to be a murder like none other. Tom Brady is going to pick apart the Redskins defense. Josh Norman's sorry ass is going to be left dead on the field. Tom Brady is going to destroy them. Whether you're a Patriots fan, whether you just watch the NFL, whether you hate Tom Brady, like myself, you know that he is going to ball out this week against the Redskins. Any quarterback could ball against the Redskins. Maybe you could put me in the pads, just like I say. You could put me in the pads and I'll run against the Dolphins. You could put me in the pads and I could throw against the Redskins. They are terrible. You're going to be saying down Dwayne Haskins. Now, Dwayne Haskins has been an interception machine. Is he even going to be the starter? Their coach is saying, oh, we don't know who we're going to start. It's whatever. It's going to be Dwayne Haskins. The Patriots are going to pick him off like maybe 9,000 times, so he's not going to have a good time this week. Next game to talk about is the Ravens at the Steelers. I'm going to be starting Lamar Jackson in this game. Lamar Jackson did have a down game last week. No, they didn't really have a down game. He still had a fucking good game, but didn't play as well. But I think Lamar Jackson is going to have a huge game against the Steelers. The Steelers defense isn't all that good. I know last week they shut down sorry-ass Andy Dalton, but Lamar Jackson is no Andy Dalton. He is going to play great against the Steelers. And we're going to be sitting down Mason Rudolph. I've seen a lot of these lists where people are like, let me start Mason Rudolph. Don't get too fancy. Unless you're in a super deep league, I don't want anything to do with Mason Rudolph. Now, I know the Ravens defense is fake news. You look at them, and you look, and you're like, holy shit, that's the Ravens. Where's Ray Lewis at? Ray Lewis, not there. Ray Lewis, retired. Mason Rudolph playing against a defense that is A-okay. I think they'll be able to shut him down enough for him not to be worth a start. Next game to talk about here is the Bears at the Oakland Raiders. Knock one time if you're with me. Sit down, Chase Daniels. You don't want anything to do with him, okay? He is terrible. Well, he might even be better than Kiss and Titties Trubisky. Trubisky has looked awful. Chase Daniels may actually look slightly better. Still don't want anything to do with him. Derek Carr playing up against the Bears defense. The Bears defense has shut down a lot of these quarterbacks. Derek Carr is not one of these elite quarterbacks that I think would have any chance to get past that Bears defense. Next game to talk about here is the Broncos at the LA Chargers. And I'm going to start Phillip Rivers in this game. I always make the joke in every video that his kids are all on his team because they probably are. He has like a million fucking kids. Phillip Rivers is going to have a day against the Denver Broncos. The Broncos defense has not looked all that good. Mr. Minshew had a day with them last week. I think Phillip Rivers could be in for a good game. Now, you may want to worry about the fact that they may be trying to run the ball with Melvin Gordon, Austin Eckler a lot, but I still think Phillip Rivers will be able to get it done. And we're going to be seeing down Joe Flacco, the elite one. Joe Flacco, while has actually not been all that terrible for fantasy football, you're never going to want to start him. Even in like a 2-quarterback league, you're just not going to want to start Joe Flacco. Next game I'm talking about here is the Packers at the Cowboys. And I'm confident starting both quarterbacks in this game. Aaron Rodgers owns the Cowboys pretty much every time he plays there. They could put a fucking statue of him up in front of AT&T Stadium. He owns the Dallas Cowboys like his name was Jerry Jones. Aaron Rodgers is going to go out there and ball without Devontae Adams against Dak Prescott in Dallas. Dak Prescott, though, also probably going to have a solid game. Last week against the Saints, he had a poor performance. And people may argue the Packers defense is better than the Saints. I think it is. But a lot of people are going to be saying that Dak Prescott is going to play terrible again. No. He's going to have a bounce-back game. He's going to figure his shit out. He's going to be passing the ball. He may get one of his favorite targets, Michael Gallup, back this week. I think Dak Prescott is in for a pretty solid top 10 quarterback performance this week, while a lot of people are very off of Dak Prescott. Now we're on to the Sunday Night Football matchup of the Colts versus the Kansas City Chiefs. And we're going to be starting Jacoby B for the Colts. Jacoby Brissett, also one of these guys that is a great quarterback to start this week. Any quarterback against the Colts will perform. We saw last week Matt Stafford put the team on his back type of deal. The Chiefs ended up winning the game, but he played great. I like Jacoby Brissett this week against the Chiefs. Jacoby Brissett also performed last week against the Raiders. I think that he is in for a pretty good game this week. Whether he has TY or whether he doesn't have TY, he should still be fine. Pat Mahomes playing against the Colts. The Colts defense hasn't looked that good. This is going to be a shootout game. Pat Mahomes is probably the number one quarterback every single week, and you should not doubt that. Take that one to the bank. Pat Mahomes is going to be throwing touchdowns this week. Last week was held to no touchdowns. This week is going to be quite different. I forecast 3 touchdowns into his future. Final game here, Monday Night Football, Cleveland Browns at the 49ers, and I'm starting both quarterbacks in this game. While I don't love Baker Mayfield against the 49ers defense, the 49ers defense has looked good. Baker Mayfield has looked so-so, but I think he's going to be able to get it done enough to quantify being started this week against the 49ers. Now, he will be likely without Jarvis Landry, his favorite target last week, but we know he could just dump it off to Nick Chubb a bunch of times, dump it to Odell, and have a pretty productive game. And we're going to also be starting Jimmy Garoppolo going up against the Browns defense that a lot of people talk about. Oh, the Browns defense is amazing. They have not looked all that good. I think Jimmy Garoppolo, Jimmy G-Spot, Jimmy Handsome can get it done this week against the Browns. We've seen it in the past. Jimmy Garoppolo has looked like a pretty solid fantasy football quarterback. So thank you guys all for watching this video. If at any point you enjoyed, if at any point you chuckled, knock one time on that goddamn subscribe button. Have a great rest of your day. Come back later for some more videos. Check out overlaydfs.com. Link down below in the description. I love you all. Goodbye.